3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hi, I'm Melissa Gaudet, and I am the founder of Women's Golf Day. Thank you so much for joining us for WGD Palooza. This is just a fun way for everyone to get involved and learn more about golf in general, women, how they can get involved, women, juniors, and also hear from some amazing people from around the world and companies and businesses and people that all share our passion for bringing more people into golf. So what a year it has been, for sure. We are so excited this year. Our theme is Global Unity, Golf Uniting the World. And I think we see that more and more every day. We are more connected than we think. And we encourage everybody to join us on this journey. In the United States alone, we saw over 600,000 new females enter the game since 2020. So that's very encouraging, and I think it shows the future is bright. We saw a 16-year-old named Anna Davis win the ANWA, the Augusta National Women's Amateur, and probably single-handedly brought back the bucket hat, which obviously we have as well. So with these trends, I think the trend is women, juniors, more people golfing, and we're so pleased to see that. Women's Golf Day welcomes some new partners and sponsors, and we've developed stronger bonds and activation with our existing partners. And the one thing we all share is definitely a passion to work together to bring more people into golf, especially women, juniors, and the importance of bringing women to the forefront of the conversation. So we thank so many times over and over, we thank and are in gratitude for the RNA, Imperial Headwear, Callaway, PGA Tour Superstore, the USGA, Titleist, FootJoy, Gloveit, Golf Town, Troon, Club Corp, the PGA of America, and our new and very exciting partner, RBC, the Royal Bank of Canada, which we are so pleased to have an inaugural event in Toronto, Canada this year. And Women's Golf Day, always the first Tuesday in June, is the same week as the RBC Canadian Open, the PGA Tour stop. So on a golf course nearby, the Scarborough Golf Club, we will host a Women's Golf Day event with RBC, and we're so looking forward to that. And we'll post on social media so you can see what's going on there, but everybody's, I'm sure, going to be busy at their events, and we'll just hope you tune in to the RBC Canadian Open, which is June 9th through 12th, right after Women's Golf Day. You know, one of our amazing friends and Women's Golf Day supporters is Lavinia Biagote, and you'll hear more from her, but they have a saying at Marco Simone, playing the future. And I think that's so well said. And I think that's where we all are looking to the future. So with that said, there's some exciting things for 2023, apart from Women's Golf Day. The Solheim Cup will be held in Costa del Sol, that region of Spain, at Finca Cortesín, which is an amazing golf course, and has also held Women's Golf Day events every year. We invite you to get involved, go if you can, join, follow, and as well, just a few weeks later, the Ryder Cup will be held in Rome at Marco Simone. Being of Italian descent, that is very satisfying, and I'm so happy to see this event come to Rome and the excitement. And the theme that we had here is this global unity and spreading golf around the world. I want to absolutely thank our incredible Women's Golf Day team. There are a lot of people that go into keeping this going all year round, all of the things we do. Everybody knows the one day in June, but we do a lot more throughout the year, and we're a resource to help people find more ways to golf, to get out, and everything that's available, from handicaps to programs that continue on. And you're going to hear from a lot of people, including the NGF, who's been also a great partner and supporter of ours, and how statistics and data and programs that can help really grow this game. And as I say, think global and act local. And so that's what we ask everybody. Find a location on June 7th this year. It's on our website, womensgolfday.com. There's PGA Tour Superstores, Golf Town stores. You can just go in. You don't need anything to be able to participate, and they're free. There's golf courses, locations all over the world, and we encourage you to go find one and participate and find a place that works for you. And you're always welcome to join us online, of course. Women's Golf Day started in 2016, so this is our 7th year, and we have over 880 locations just this past year that participated in 68 countries. And I know for sure this year, we just saw that Gambia, an African nation, is hosting an event for the first time, and we welcome them. We see more courses in Japan that are participating this year, all throughout Europe, the Czech Republic, Poland, Italy, Spain, Morocco, all parts of the world. We start in New Zealand and Australia, and for 24 hours straight across the globe, there's a Women's Golf Day event happening, ending in Hawaii. So that's really one of the most encouraging things that keeps us going all year round. And just to see what can be done when we all work together and really have that same shared passion and interest to bring more women and juniors and just people in general into the game of golf that we all love. So with that as well, we brought on our team is probably 12 or so people, more probably now, but we do welcome a woman, Anna, who is from the Ukraine, and she was working for the Ukrainian Golf Federation. And obviously the devastation that's going on there is unfathomable. And we have her working with us, and that's been eye-opening as well as a pleasure. We have an auction for the money is going directly to the Ukrainian Golf Federation. So we do ask you to donate or participate and bid on some of these amazing auction items that we have. So with that, I hope to see you June 7th on a golf course somewhere or a golf location with one of our partners. Any location, we encourage you, if you haven't signed up, to do so, or next year, we look forward to seeing you. And everyone, please, WGD Unites or Women's Golf Day, either of those hashtags, show us your pictures, send us the photos. We love to see them. We love to put them up. We have a very active social media. Last year we had 87 million. So we look forward to hearing from everybody and learning more about how this is really touching people all over the world. We are united together, and we are in gratitude. Thank you so much to everyone who shares our mission, and we look forward to seeing you out there all the time. Please enjoy this and get in touch with us. Okay, happy Women's Golf Day.
Participation in golf has grown around the world at an unprecedented rate in the last couple of years. There are now people of all ages and abilities reaping the rewards of playing this wonderful game. But what really are the health benefits of playing golf? I'm Iona Stephen, and I'm here to find out the answer to that very question. Golf isn't just 18 holes, and I think that's what people get wrong. You think golf, you've got to play 18 holes. You don't. You can play one hole and call it quits. But golf is for people that are busy working. It's for people who have young kids. It's for people who have retired, who've got more time, and they perhaps can play 18 holes more regularly. But golf's for absolutely everyone, young, old. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you do. It's a leveler, and there's no judgment in golf.
If you like golf, you may have seen me talking about it on the TV over the past few years. But what many people don't know is that I was actually quite late to start playing this wonderful game. It wasn't until my time at university that my love for it really developed, and little did I know the positive impact it would have on my life. I discovered Ranfurly Castle Golf Club when I was a student at Glasgow University, and it was there I realised this was the game for me.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, come on in. I'm so excited about today. I think it's going to be a really interesting trip down memory lane. Nearly 10 years since I was back at Ranfurly Castle, and that was really the first time I got the golf bug. I'm really excited to go back. It's bringing back wonderful memories, because for me this was the time in my life when everything changed. I was studying architecture at the Glasgow School of Art, and I knew that wasn't really what I wanted to do, but of course, like many young people, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and that comes with a lot of stress and anxiety along with the rest of what you're dealing with in your life. And for the very first time I found golf, and it was at Ranfurly Castle, and it felt like I belonged there. I felt like I'd found a little piece of home, and you know, I was taken under the wing by a group of the lady members who made me feel so welcome and encouraged me, and I just felt safe there and calm, and the weight of the world just melted off my shoulders. So I'm really excited to show you Ranfurly Castle today. There used to be a little net here, and I used to come and have a quick knock, maybe a couple of putts, and then off to the first tee. And I was a hockey player learning to play golf, so I had a wicked slice. Probably still prefer the right-hand side, but let's try and find the middle. That'll do. Oof, that's racing. That is racing. Get there, get there. Oh! A 3-putt bogey, but I'm just happy to be here. That'll be all right. No trouble over there, apart from a few trees. So do you guys play quite regularly with one another?
This is my 4th round in 4 days.
4th round in 4 days?
Yes.
And you find it's like good for your health and good to get out?
Yes, it's marvellous for your health. I'm 52 now, so it's
You
really good.
Night and
I
day
feel
difference
night and
since
day
you've
from
joined.
what I felt maybe 5 or 6 months ago.
Really?
Nice.
Yes,
What's the biggest difference?
Just the exercise, constant exercise, and you know, 4 or 5 miles every day.
Paul's
Yeah.
been on furlough for a while,
Right.
so he's even been able to get out the course and
Like
the
the
whole
work,
depression
it's
side
been-
of it
it's
as
been
well.
marvellous.
Really
Yeah,
is.
no, it's good to see you guys out here,
And these guys, thank
and we'll
you
see
very
you
much.
soon. So this was the hole that I remember probably the most at Ranfurly Castle. You know, you'd get the first hole, the nerves out the way, and you'd be feeling a wee bit warmer by the time you arrived on this tee. This giant hill that goes up, and you know you've got a challenge ahead of you, but this moment right here, this feeling was the one I was always chasing. It was kind of, you're out here now in the middle of the golf course and the blood's already pumping around your body, and it's about to be a wee bit more once we start climbing up this hill. Take a look at this. Right across Glasgow. Ben Lomond on the left-hand side there on a clear day like today. I mean, he just looks magnificent. Snow-covered Munro. And right down to Glasgow. It really doesn't get any better than this. When I'm playing golf, I feel uncomplicated. There's no complexity in life when you're playing golf. It's like your mind is focusing on one objective, and that is to get the ball from A to B. And that focus brings you into a place of mindfulness and flow, I think, where there isn't space for, I mean, the complications that we love to put in our mind, in our life, and the pressure that we put on ourselves. And when I'm playing golf, I don't experience that. I just feel like I'm exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I need to be doing.
So working on my game was never a chore, however much time it took.
I remember being up on the practice ground one winter and it was snowing, and my coach at the time had said, Iona, if you want to get, really good, you need to be really sharp from 50 yards and in, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 yards. You need to be able to hit 10 balls onto a towel at each yardage. So I got these towels and I took them up to the practice ground. It was snowing. I laid the towels down and I started hitting these balls, 1 ball, 2 ball, 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards. And a group of the members, some of whom were here today, came up with this hamper of hot chocolate and a couple of bacon rolls, and they just left it there for me because they could see I was practicing and getting cold. And I'll never forget that memory. And I don't think they thought, Iona's going to become the best golfer in the world, but they just thought, she's really keen and she's trying really hard and we'll support her. And I really appreciated that support at the time. So my memories at Ranfurly are very, very fond ones.
If that trip to Ranfurly Castle was like going home for me, next up was something very different. A journey south of the border to meet a former Premier League football star, Jason McAteer.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, here we go. A little bit of rain. Never hurt anyone, did it? Jason McAteer has come to meet me this morning. Ex-Liverpool, ex-Republic of Ireland footballer. And I'm really excited to have this time with him because he is a man who has been instrumental in talking about mental health, particularly in young men. And I believe he's used golf to help with his own mental health, recovering from depression. Wow, this is a perfect day for golf.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. We couldn't have timed it any better. Right, so, dogleg right.
Oh, that's epic.
What rain?
What a shot. No pressure.
Beginner's luck.
I love it. He's got the athlete mentality, I can tell.
Oh, she's played before. She's played before.
Following you down there.
If you've outdriven me, I'm going in.
So how long have you been playing golf?
Well, you just said there 9 years. I was trying to work out probably the same. 9 years, 10 years. Sort of coincided with me finishing, maybe a bit longer, maybe 12 years.
So you didn't actually play much golf when you were playing football?
No, a lot of the lads did. Jamie Redknapp played, he was good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jamie played, Neil Ruddock played. A lot of them would go out after training and maybe have 9 holes, but golf never really did it for me.
I'm just intrigued to see whose ball this is and where the other one's gone. You said this is a par 5?
Well, that's either me or you right down the bottom of the
This will
hill.
definitely be me.
Tell you what.
It's giving it a thump. I'll still have a pitching wedge in though. Such a nice guy, Jason McAteer. I was listening to some of his podcast stuff on the way down from Scotland yesterday, and this documentary that he did for Liverpool TV called Through the Storm, and I just thought, he's a really nice guy, we're going to get on well, and I'm really glad we do. But he's outdriven me by a solid 40 yards, I'm not happy about that. It's a Scottish shot.
Stay out the bunker. Oh.
Sandy.
I know. Golf has been amazing, you know, certainly from a mental health aspect. You know, I was probably in, you know, a bad place when I finished, you know, a lot of void, you know, that team had gone, that support network around me had gone. I'd split up with my partner and we just had a baby as well, and that was a difficult time, and I was rattling around in a house on my own, and you know, I just had nothing, no focus, no nothing. And then I found golf. It kind of just come to me and started filling my diary up and playing golf and starting to work again. But golf was the leveler for me. Golf probably saved my life, to be honest.
I can relate to golf keeping you present, and exactly, you don't feel like you need to be anywhere else when you're on the golf course. You're just exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing.
That's it. Takes you away from everything else, doesn't it?
And
right.
now I need to stiff this to put the
Let's have
pressure
a look,
back on you.
Beautiful.
I love to go left. Yeah, well out. Really, really well done. A good roll, very good roll.
I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, good one, I can give you that.
Thank you.
Oh, hit through the brake.
On purpose.
That didn't actually.
That.
I hit it through the brake. Nice, very nice. I'd pay a lot of money for that soft fade. Love it. Jason, I know that you've spoken out a lot about mental health, particularly for young men 35 and under, and you've had your own experience and struggles. So can you just tell us a little bit about that journey that you've been on?
Yeah, well, finishing playing obviously left a massive void. You know, it literally was like a light switch. One minute you got a contract, you've got 25 mates in a dressing room, you're focused, you're training every day, you're aiming to win. That will to win is there through training and playing. And literally the season ended and, you know, my contract wasn't renewed. And it's kind of funny, you kind of stay living like a footballer. Like I went on holiday, I carried on running, I carried on eating the right things. And I just probably with the hope of maybe something would happen at the back of my mind, someone might give me a contract. But, you know, quite quickly I spiraled, my mental health spiraled out of control, and, you know, I was just thinking more negatively, and, you know, it was just, and then one day I was driving to pick him up, and there was a tunnel between the Wirral and Liverpool, the Mersey tunnel, and I was in it, and, you know, I was contemplating, you know, whether I just had enough. There was just no point, just like, what was the point? And then, you know, before I knew it, it was kind of the light at the end of the tunnel where you come out, it kind of got brighter, and I come out the tunnel when I picked my little boy up. And I had this ability as well, you know, with a depression. When I was with people, you probably would never have known. You know, I could just get on with it. I could be kind of funny in people's company, but when it was when I was on my own, and, you know, the negative thoughts were going around, the self-talk was bad, that was when I was at my lowest. And I remember dropping my little boy off, and I went to my mum's, who lived sort of around the corner from me, and I literally just broke down crying, really. And she didn't notice the signs, being from that kind of health sector area. And, you know, the next thing I know, I was in front of a counsellor, and, you know, I was in therapy for 6 months, and yeah, I got my life back together. Yeah. The therapist was like, you've got to fill your time. You can't sit around the house. You can't, you know, have lots of time to think. You've got to fill your diary, whether it's work or whether it's something that you can get your teeth into, and, you know, it'll help you out. So it kind of coincided with, you know, going back to work, which was the media. You know, I love the media. I've worked in it since I finished. Had an amazing time, done some amazing things, made documentaries, things like this. You know, I love doing. punditry and presenting, commentating. It's been amazing. Take me around the world, but then golf sort of was a parallel with that.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't in work, I was going to meet Alex and my mate Matty, and we were just going to go and play, and then you get into it, and then you're on golf trips then, and I think the thing is, if I go to work now, I always take my clubs. I take them everywhere. These clubs have been more places than my kids. It's like, these are my babies, and I take them everywhere, because I don't want to be sitting around hotel rooms rattling around thinking. So I'll go on the range, I'll go and play on my own, I'll ring someone up and go and play, and they're the lifesaver, these babies.
It's brilliant to hear that you've been able to fill your time with golf, because let's be honest, there are plenty of other things you can fill your time with that lead you down a very different path altogether. Right, closest to the pin then, from
For the
here.
coffees.
For the coffees. Okay, it's on. That's so strong. Okay. So there's a big gap there for you.
I know.
What kind of coffee do you drink?
Oh, a latte.
Latte.
Yeah.
It's a latte.
My hands are freezing and I'm crying it in.
Spinny. I like it. Jason, thank you so much for taking the time to come out and play in the rain with me today and sharing your story so bravely as you have with us at the RNA and with many other people, and we wish you the best of luck in the future.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps just one person, we've done our bit, haven't we? But yeah, no, it's been amazing. Thanks very much. You definitely brought that Scottish weather. You're not coming again.
It's time for a hot drink, I think, eh?
While it was great to get outside to play golf and chat with Jason, the reality of the past few years for many of us has been dealing with being stuck indoors for long periods of time. I was back at home in St Andrews for my next conversation online with an expert in the whole area of mental health.
Hi guys, my name's Dr. Phil Hopley, and I'm a consultant psychiatrist. That means a medically trained doctor specialising in mental health. I do a lot of work helping people who are struggling with their mental health, but I also do a lot of coaching and training work to help raise people's awareness and teach them the techniques to look after their well-being.
What do we mean when we talk about the phrase well-being?
So if I was to draw a diagram of the spectrum of mental health, on the one end you'd have those people who are really struggling and they're mentally ill or mentally disordered, and at the top end you'd have those people who are really flourishing or really in peak performance. And I would say anyone who's in the sort of top 2/3 or top maybe 50% of that spectrum would be in a state of well-being. And by that, I mean you're effectively emotionally comfortable, you're content, you're healthy, you're happy, and you're functioning pretty well. Now, you might not be feeling all those things every single minute of every day, but on balance, that's where you are. And of course, what we're seeking to do is to try and help people who are not in that space to get into that space, and help people who are in that space to stay in that space.
And what is it about playing golf that you think helps our mental health and our well-being?
But let me start with exercise and movement. Okay, so we know that our brains evolved in such a way that we benefit from being on the move. We actually think better when we're moving. Lots of modern day progressive workplaces have what's called mobile meetings. People go out in small groups. You can't do it if there's 12 of you in a board meeting, but small groups go out and walk and talk. And why is that? It's because there's that sort of changing scenery. It sort of refreshes and enables us to think in a more sort of constructive or creative way. So being out and about and moving is great. We also know that exercise is very effective for protecting mental health, to the extent that patients with mild and sometimes moderate depressive disorder, if they start to exercise on a regular basis, their depressive symptoms improve. 9 holes or 18 holes of golf is somewhere around the region of 12 to 16,000 steps. And we know for cardiovascular health, if we're hitting around 10,000 steps a day, we're doing a really good thing for our heart. So that's really good as a starter. The fact of the matter is that if you are playing golf with others, and unless you're having a really difficult time, you're engaging in what we call quality time with others. And that's another protective factor for our mental health and our well-being. We know that being around others is really protective and pro-social. Most people that play golf, even if they're playing at the elite level, will spend some time before and after a round of golf just conversing and being socially connected with other people, whether you're sitting down to have a cup of tea or a pint of something stronger. and debriefing and talking about various things. So you're getting lots and lots of social support in that context. So there are lots of positives when it comes to golf, mental health, and our well-being.
There's no doubt then that golf does have an impactful role on our mental health, and it seems we're really only just starting to scratch the surface in our understanding. So what about the impact golf has on our physical health in both the amateur and professional games? In the next episode, we take a closer look.
Next time, I'll be at Wentworth, taking part in one of the biggest pro-ams in golf and tracking the exercise impact of playing 18 holes. We speak to James Taylor about the health crisis that forced him to abandon his England cricket days and turn to golf, as well as a nutrition expert on how the pros look after themselves. I even try some of their recipes.
Welcome to one of the greatest events in golf and one of the greatest in all of sport. Europe against the USA.
Europe, wait to take the cup home! Hello! Come on!
Francesco Molinari has done it for Europe.
The site itself offers not only some great views of the golf hole that it's viewing, but also great long distance views of numerous other golf holes. Coupled with that, we've got 3 or 4 wonderful vantage points over the city of Rome. So there's real drama. We consciously routed the golf course so that the drama came on the back nine. Any tournament, any match play event, that's where the drama is. And we try to emphasize that with the way we've placed the golf holes.
All the building blocks are there for what can make a fantastic Ryder Cup. A wonderful golf course in a fantastic, iconic city. And you know we're going to have 24 of the best players on the planet playing, and they never let us down.
Simone è nato proprio come un atto d'amore dei miei genitori Laura Biagiotti e Gianni Cigna nei confronti di questo luogo meraviglioso. Prima il restauro del castello, la cui torre risale all'anno 1000, e poi è arrivato il campo da golf, 150 ettari che si snodano proprio intorno alla torre del castello come una gigantesca, straordinaria e unica gonna verde.
I'm Karen Gleason, founder and CEO of Glove It, and today we are thrilled to partner in Women's Golf Day. We share in their mission to make golf more fun and accessible to women and girls around the world. It is for that very reason that I started Glove It. We need the right equipment to play the game, so why not make it both functional and fashionable? We love to bring out our personal style, and I think you have more fun on the course when you can do that. Each year, our team researches all of the color trends, designs, and prints, and we put together our collections so you can accessorize all of your outfits. This year, we have our Golf and Gal print for Women's Golf Day. Here we have all of our fun products that you can use for Women's Golf Day and throughout the year. The club cover, the visor with the hat clip, gloves, wristlet, and the towel. So next I'm going to show you a lot of the different products that we have and how you can accessorize your game. Let's get ourselves game day ready and start with some gloves. Make sure that you have, when you have your glove, that the fit fits like a glove and is very snug. All of our gloves have the stretch Lycra, so it works really well if you have long nails or rings that you wear. The Cabretta leather is very soft, so when you feel the grip on your club, you're right there with it. Also, we have them in right hand and left hand, so you can wear both hands for sun protection or just wear the one that works for you. Headwear is really important, especially for all the sun protection that you need. So find one that's right for you. There's a great variety of visors out there, from a coil back to the bling slide-on visors, and have fun with what you like for your outfit. We also have a variety of caps, and what's really nice is everything that we do, we have the glove to match all the headwear. Don't forget about your ball marker. Women's Golf Day, we have this great matching marker and it works right here. So you'll need that when you're around the green and marking your ball to make that birdie putt. Now let's talk about accessorizing your golf bag. So depending on what level of golfer you are, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned golfer, sometimes you have a couple different bags for whatever the day is. A stand bag may be a great item for when you're just hitting the range, just practicing or traveling. And then also we have the cart bags. And you can take those on your cart, put them on a pull cart, whatever works for you. Some of the accessories that are really important, we'll start with the club covers. We need to have those to make sure that your woods are all safe and they don't get damaged, and also to prevent a lot of rattling when they're in your cart. Of course, towels, keep your clubs clean, and shoe bags to keep your shoes together, keep everything organized. We love putting everything together so it all matches too. One last accessory I would like to cover is a little wristlet or a carry-all bag. We can either do a wristlet, and that will carry all of your tools for the bag, or we love our little carry-all bag. This, we have all of our golf tees, our marker, extra pencil. But what's nice about this, it goes on your bag, and then also when you're all done, add the straps and take it to the 19th hole. Okay, so hopefully we've given you some great info and ideas how to accessorize your golf bag and have fun and love the game. Hope to see you all out there on June 7th for Women's Golf Day.
And thank you for joining us for a special edition of Women's Golf Day Palooza presented by Callaway Golf. I'm Kim Johnson from the retail marketing team here, and I'm joined by Alexis Eder from the Cali Media Productions team. And together we're on the Women's Task Force here at Callaway. And we're so excited to bring you an interview with Emma Talley. She's on the LPGA Tour, and she's been a Callaway staffer for a number of years. So we're very excited to give you a special interview with her to get some insight into life out there on the LPGA Tour. And then at the end of that interview, we're going to give you a sneak peek at some really fun content featuring some amazing gals that are a part of the Callaway family. Thank you, Emma, so much for joining us on the phone. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm actually home in Nashville finally. It's been a long time since I've been home, so I'm happy to have a week off.
That's amazing. Getting some good food out there, some good music, enjoying some time.
Not yet, but I actually have a plan to go see Justin Bieber on Wednesday night.
Oh, so I'm so jealous.
I'm so jealous. You get to see the Bieber stomp in person.
I know. I used to have a t-shirt when he was like first coming out. My brother got me a t-shirt with his face on it. So like I am definitely a believer.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love it.
Well, tell us, Emma, how did this believer get into golf?
I started golf when I was playing. I started playing when I was 9 years old, and I played every sport growing up, and I just honestly fell in love with the game. And then starting at 10 years old, I started playing tournament golf, and yeah, I think back and I think what a weirdo for being so obsessed with golf. But now looking back, like so thankful that I fell in love with a great game.
How did it go from just being obsessed with golf to actually seeing like a viable career ahead of yourself?
I don't know. I think a lot of that had to do with my parents. I really was obsessed with it, and my dad took me to my first LPGA event when I was 12 years old. Actually here in Nashville at the Legends Club. Actually was there 20 minutes ago, and I remember telling my dad, we got in the car and I was like, I want to be on the LPGA. And he said, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice, but you can do it and I'll help you. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I think parents have a lot to do with probably all of our success on the LPGA, and mine definitely did for sure.
And, we're talking about this amazing career in golf that you have. And obviously, you could argue that Lex and I are also in golf in some capacity. But I think what's kind of cool is that we're seeing so many new women come into the game. And kind of just from your perspective and your opinion, how important is it to grow the game among women?
Yeah, I think it's really important to grow the game. I think it's really exciting to see the growth of the game, especially through COVID. We just got finished with the Founders Cup, and it's amazing to see that the first 13 founders, they started this organization, and I think it truly is growing every year, and I'm excited to see hopefully our generation leaves it better than we found it.
What kind of steps do you think that we can take to help the younger generation continue this growth?
Yeah, I think just make it fun. I think that's the most important thing. I think realizing that it is fun and you can play for the rest of your life. And I just think getting more people involved, making it diverse, making it available for people. I don't think there's as many like private clubs anymore as there used to be. There's a lot of public golf courses, which is great. I think just getting everyone involved, and obviously social media is great because we can share our stories and the people that we meet and show that it's a social sport, which I think that's one of the reasons I love it. I think it's really important to grow the game, and I love it.
For people just starting out, and like you said, there's not as many private clubs. Golf has that like stuffy reputation, but you just said it, like it is really fun, and that's the best thing we can do is make it more fun for people. So what like format would you suggest that people go out and play if they're like just starting out or trying to introduce their friends to the game?
Yeah, I always think, playing a scramble is fun because you can use some of your shots, but your teammates can have your back if you don't hit it the best every shot. So I think scrambles are always fun. I think team games 2-on-2 is always fun. There's so many different games. We play Wolf a lot, which is probably a little more elevated game, but there's all kinds of different games you can play in golf, and even chipping contests. Like you don't even have to go out on the golf course. You can go out and have a chipping contest or a putting contest, and it is so fun. And you're outside, and I honestly think golf is one of the most peaceful sports there are too. Especially, I know a lot of people took up golf during COVID, and I think that was a sanctuary for so many people.
What's your favorite format to play?
I'm selfish, so I like playing my own game. But if I had to pick one, I would say Wolf. Patrick and I, my fiance and I, we go out and play with some friends sometimes, girls on the LPGA and their husbands or boyfriends, and we play Wolf quite a lot, so that would probably be our favorite.
If you would have said scramble and off of the red tees for some sort of a tournament, I would have had to have just shut you down right there because that's just not even fair.
That would be really fun. I used to do that when I was little. Like people would ask me to be their like fourth man at the country club member guest or whatever, and it was so funny.
Go out and hustle some people a little bit. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
People would. I was like so little and naive to realize what was happening, but definitely those old men had side bets and stuff. And I know I won some money for some people.
Well, you heard it here first. The reason why you saw those teams come in at 22 under is because of Emma Talley.
Well, Emma, you've been a part of the Callaway family for, a couple of years now. What's your favorite part about being on our staff?
It really started longer before that. I started on their junior program, and then in college I played their clubs. I think I started playing Callaway golf clubs when I was 14, so that's in 14 years now playing just Callaway. So I have to say I'm probably one of the longest running. At my age, I'm 28 now. And, I think the coolest thing about Callaway is, for me, y'all truly are family to me. Y'all have been really supportive in my whole game back to when I played junior golf. And I love your equipment, but like I said, I love all the people at Callaway, and I really appreciate being part of the Callaway family.
Well, we love having you on staff, and I want to ask you, this is one of my favorite questions to ask anyone, and I never prompt them for it, so this is definitely off the cuff. Okay, Emma, if you go buy a 60-foot yacht today, what are you naming it?
Oh.
What am I naming it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What a terrible question.
I know. But it makes you think, right?
What would I name it? Oh my gosh.
Such a stumper.
For some reason, I don't know why this popped in my head, but Betsy or Simba popped in my head.
Oh,
I don't know why
Simba.
Betsy, because Betsy has no nothing. The name Betsy just popped in my head. But Simba, Lion King.
I love
Simba.
it. See, there's an answer deep down. It just takes a second.
That's a great.
I don't know why I said Simba either.
Oh, I love that. I love that question. I don't think I've ever heard you ask that before.
I just love it so much because
Yeah.
it really gets you deep dive into someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've been talking about musicals all morning, so maybe that's why I said that. I have no idea.
If you want to give us a sample, please do.
Little circle
Not
of
for
life.
me. I just like watching. I'm actually going to see Funny Girl with my brother in December. We used to watch that as kids growing up, and so I'm going in December to see that with my brother, which is super fun.
So
I love musicals.
Those are so fun.
Yes.
Lex, if you want to bring it back to golf talk, that's fine. We'll
I
let
think
you
we
do
gotta
that.
bring it back just a little bit. Emma, before we let you go, we have to ask what your favorite club in your bag is right now.
Well, two things. I love my driver. I've always loved my driver. I hit the Rogue. I hit the new Rogue Club. I hate to tell you, but I don't know what shaft I have. I don't know much about it.
That's okay. We can ask Johnny Wonder.
But yeah, Johnny Wonder knows all the info. I love my driver. I hit a lot of fairways, and for me, ball striking is like where my game is made or won. And so if I hit the ball well that week, like I'm gonna play well. And for me, if I'm in the fairway, that's the biggest part of it. I don't hit it very long or short. I'm probably just above average, but I hit it in the fairway every single time. And I love my driver. I do hit the Rogue. I switched to the Rogue this year. I gained about 8 yards as soon as I put it in my bag.
That's awesome.
Which was great. And like I said, I think for me, getting in the fairway and having a chance to the green is the biggest part of my game. So my driver's big, and then I actually also just switched putters. I used to use the old White Hot putter, the OG, I think it's called. And I just switched to a 2-line, so very exciting.
Put a milled putter in the bag.
Yes, I don't know much about that either, but it's working, so I'm going with it.
Good. Well, we're so glad that you love your equipment, and I apologize. 14 years is much longer than a couple of years to be on Callaway's staff. So, I know I need to get with the program here. But speaking of your Rogue driver, so this is coming out on Women's Golf Day, and we are debuting some content over the next few weeks called the Rogue Race that we filmed in Florida, and there are 3 women you might know: Annika Sorenstam, Hallie Ledbetter, and Kira K. Dixon, who competed in the Rogue Race. So we're going to give you a sneak peek of that right now.
And we're just going to go hard, go bold. Come on, Maverick! All right, big drive. There. Here we come! Go Callaway!
I think I hit it higher off the deck than I did off the tee.
I left it all out there. It wasn't for lack of effort.
It's definitely going to be speed from me. I'm going to be able to contribute that way. No one can catch me.
Oh, this way, this way.
7-iron. You know, I haven't run like that in like actual years.
So that's a little sneak preview of the women that competed in the Rogue Race. You can find all the episodes every Saturday on our YouTube channel. And if you have any inquiries, all the information should be on our Instagram.
And we want to take a second to thank you, Emma, for being with us today. It was great to hear from you, and we really appreciate all that you're doing for all of those women out there on the tour, and also all of us that really look up to you and what you do. And, thank you for helping us do this special edition of Women's Golf Day Palooza.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. Lots of love.
Did you know that in 2020, we had 3 million people return to the game of golf or try the game of golf for the very first time? It was a record-breaking year. Oh, but then 2021 rolls around and we broke the record once again with 3.2 million people trying the game of golf. That's 6.2 million people in the last 2 years who either returned to the game or tried it for the very first time. But wait, there's more. In 2020, we had over 450,000 women try the game of golf for the first time. And yep, 2021 beat that record with almost 600,000 women giving golf a try. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ted Lothario. I'm a PGA golf professional who's the Vice President of Player Development and Engagement for the National Golf Foundation, known as the NGF. And for what you just heard, most people who know us as the research people, which we are. We provide the golf industry with research, data, and information on, well, pretty much anything to do with golf. What people don't know is that we're also passionate about creating golfers. It's in our DNA. From the beginnings of the NGF back in 1936, when Herb and Joe Graffis founded the NGF to promote golf, particularly new golfers, it was created as an effort to reverse the game's decline that began when the stock market crashed in 1929. But back to today, the good news, as a result of women trying the game of golf in the last 2 years, the women's population of golfers grew by 11% since the days before the pandemic. That means in 2021, there were almost 6.3 million women who played golf. Now, as encouraging as those numbers are, and they are, the golf industry still has some work to do, because 6.3 million women golfers equals roughly about 25% of all golfers. We compared that percentage to the fact that women make up 51% of the population in the US, that means we're only halfway there. The good news, according to our research, when we asked women non-golfers how interested they were in giving golf a try, with the choices being very interested, somewhat interested, interested, or not interested at all, a whopping 37% said they were very interested in giving golf a try. Now that's much closer to the percentage of women in the US. And wait, there's still more. An indicator that women do have an interest in playing golf, well, offsite golf venues like Top Golf and Drive Shack, etc., are showing that 42% of the participants are women. So back to the NGF, we're not just providing stats, we're doing something about it through the Welcome to Golf program, which we have, which is to create golfers. And while not specifically a women-only golf program, we want to make golf available and accessible to all. Through our key initiatives, Invite, Introduce, and Convert, we hope to not only introduce people to the game of golf, but to convert them into long-term core golfers. The first component, Invite, requires our golf professionals to reach out to their communities rather than just posting a flyer in their golf shop and hoping non-golfers would discover them. In other words, invite them into the game of golf. The second component, Introduce, well, once potential new golfers enroll in the Welcome to Golf program and come on to their facilities, we want them to, well, as the name implies, welcome them to golf. And that golf experience starts with a tour of the facility, as well as providing them a fun, non-threatening lesson experience. But it doesn't stop there. Our third component, convert, means it's no longer good enough to just retain new golfers. Retained golfers have a short golfing lifespan. Our goal is to create long-term golfers by converting them into avid golfers, which means giving them reasons to come back to the golf course after their initial lessons. And this all begins with our instructors, who are dedicated to creating more golfers, not in creating more students. Hey, I look forward to seeing you, at least virtually, at Women's Golf Day Palooza on May 31st, where we can get together to chat about, well, golf, and go into a bit more detail about what the NGF's Welcome to Golf is all about. And if you want to learn more about Welcome to Golf and where you can discover a location near you, or to learn more about the NGF, visit our website at ngf.org.
What drives me? What drives me is my want to grow the game of golf, to encourage women to get into the game, kids to get into the game, and for any of those that are just intimidated, my goal is to make golf fun and approachable.
I'm driven to get back to the game of golf, and that's the Annika Foundation. I want to inspire the next generation of young girls to follow their dreams, just like I am.
What drives me is to be the best version of myself every day, whether it's golf or personal. I always try to be better than I was yesterday.
I'm driven by my love of making people laugh and smile and growing this game that's given me more than I could ever imagine. I want other women to be able to reap the benefits of golf as well.
I'm driven by my desire to improve every day to become the best version of myself on and off the course, as well as inspiring the next generation of female golfers.
I'm driven by my love for the game of golf, even with the big dream of winning the majors and becoming world number one.
What motivates me the most as a professional athlete is the fact that I can always improve my game.
I want to inspire the younger upcoming generation, and that's what drives me every day to get better.
What drives me professionally, especially when it comes to trick shots, is literally so satisfying when you pull off something like this.
I'm driven by competing with the best female golfers in the world and inspiring the next generation of young female golfers.
What drives me is a desire to compete on a world-class stage with the best players in the world, along with the best golf courses in the world, and hopefully win.
I always just try to better myself each and every day, whether it's from one of my smallest goals to one of my biggest. There's always room for improvement, and that's what drives me.
What drives me is seeing the improvement in my golf game and seeing all of the hard work pay off. And also for me, being successful on and off the golf course and reaching new heights in my career. I'm also a mama, so me being able to show my son that his mom is successful and going out there and reaching her goals and is determined and working hard is very important to me as well. So join me on Women's Golf Day, June 7th at PGA Tour Superstore here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll see you then. It's going to be a great time.
The one you dream of.
A lot of heart in that lady.
The one you spend countless hours practicing for. I am the one with life-changing stakes. The one that challenges golfers on the game's grandest stages. And for 75 years, I have offered thousands an opportunity to earn their place in history.
She did it. She's got it.
I am the U.S. Women's Open, presented by ProMedica.
Do you have any advice for competing against boys?
Yes, you can beat them, you know that. Beat them, be tough.
I'm this shy girl from Sweden. I never really wanted the spotlight.
She was a rookie, very quiet.
One of the smoothest swings, effortless almost.
The best straight hitter of the golf ball I've ever seen.
Gave her the confidence to go on and turn professional.
A lot of the American audience at that point kind of fell in love with Annika.
Face of the 1995 champion, this 24-year-old Annika Sorenstam.
I asked her, what are we trying to do? I want to win majors.
The best in every category.
Now she's asking her trainer to push her even harder.
Pretty soon it was 5 yards, and then it was a little more.
She went from great talent to stone cold, dominating.
I am standing next to the first woman to ever shoot 59.
Birdie, birdie, birdie. She'll cut you, bro.
It seems that practice pays off.
I always talk about how good she was and how great she became.
You didn't know what was coming. You certainly could never have known what was coming.
When she played Colonial, that felt like a moment where the whole, not just golf world, but sports world stopped.
It is a man's tour. I don't want to go back and find out that a woman beat me, you know?
Annika is no longer a female golfer. She's a golfer. That's truly all I ever aspired to be.
You ever emulate Annika?
If I could hit it that straight, man.
There's a great line. They see the glory, but they don't know the story.
Look at this. Look at this. It's in. It's in.
When Annika does something, it's all in.
Just felt like she was going to rewrite every record in the book, and she practically did.
Well, Justin, as we talked about, the team around you is so important, and you've seen that over the years with your long-lasting relationship with FootJoy, and we don't want to sit on this news any longer. We have a new member of the FootJoy team, a good friend of yours.
Yeah, like you said, she's a great friend of mine. She's a great player, an even better person. Very, very honored and happy to announce Jessica Korda to the team.
Welcome to the team. Let's go chat with her.
Let's do it.
Happy to spend some time with the newest member of the FootJoy team, head-to-toe FootJoy ambassador and 6-time LPGA Tour winner, Jessica Korda. Jess, I know that you pay very careful attention to detail, and the FootJoy team has told me that you're very articulate when it comes to describing what you want and what you need. So what has the process been like so far for you?
Well, I mean, it's been incredible to be able to work with such a great team, and they have so many options. I think that that's one of the coolest things. It's not just like, oh, one shoe and then kind of try to fit it to everyone. There's so many different options. So for me, I really wanted something lightweight. I definitely don't like spikes. I like to feel the ground a lot, and for me, I just don't love the feel of the spike. And so it's just incredible to be able to find something in their line that fits me, and then they make tweaks here and there for it, which I thought was really cool as well.
Yeah, options are huge because, Justin, you know that there are so many different kinds of feet. A lot of people aren't even wearing their right size. But we talk so much in golf about utilizing the ground. So when it comes to equipment, your shoe is an extension of your equipment. How does that work in your swing?
I mean, for me, I use the ground a lot. I'm tall, and so for me, I really need to feel the ground. I feel like everyone that's a little bit lower to the ground has a slight advantage because they can utilize it a little bit better. I feel like I'm holding on for dear life sometimes, but in my swing, I'm so feel oriented, and it honestly goes from my feet up. Whether it's looking at breaks, feeling that with my feet, feeling the softness of the ground, how, if it's rained or whatever it might be. So I'm really, really conscious of what my feet are feeling, and then I make my decisions based on that. So footwear is one of the most important things in my equipment.
And Justin, can you speak to how exactly you utilize your footwear to get the most out of your swing?
Well, Jess has a lot better footwork than I do, so I need spikes. Otherwise, I'd probably fall down on half the drives I hit. So, something like that, it's important for me. I mean, like she said, you want something light and comfortable, and I'm very feel as well. But again, I mean, when I'm at home or if I'm playing without my metal spikes, even because of my feet being off the ground half the drives I hit, I'm not scared to slip from time to time. So that's a great example of not just having one particular shoe and having something that kind of fits all the variables is very important.
Jess, it's got to be cool to not just have the rewarding aspect of getting a shoe you like and that performs, but having your feedback be taken pretty serious. What's been the process like so far?
It's actually been really, really nice. I mean, the whole team sat down with me and like listened to everything that I said. And they kind of made the best decision for me at that moment. I was like, hey, I like this, this, and this in a shoe. And they're like, okay, well, we have 2 options, kind of exactly what you're looking for. And then it's up to you to choose exactly what you want and the feel of it. And I went to the driving range and I had a bunch of shoes in front of me and I was just trying them out and hitting different shots. And I actually took videos and sent them to the team of like how my foot was performing with certain shots and how it was holding the ground versus another shoe for feedback for them to possibly be able to use for future shoes. So it's been great going back and forth with them, trying to figure it out. And honestly, I love the shoe I'm in, and it's so comfortable and so light and holds the ground well. And I love the BOA technology because I don't have to tie my shoes. I don't know why you have to do that. I love the whole like pop out of my shoes. It's so like lazy, but so comfortable.
Love the shoe you're in. I think we just have the latest and greatest slogan for FootJoy. You mentioned exactly where you feel it in your swing. Could you maybe demonstrate what you were just reviewing with us in terms of what you send for feedback and video?
Yeah, for me, it's kind of how the shoe holds through impact. I'm very sensitive for that. I like to roll my foot a little bit, so I need something that still holds my ankle in place. And this has been honestly such a nice, and I also love the shoe, like looking down at it, it's not too pointy, it's not too round. That's something that a lot of people don't think about. So having that kind of stability and consistency in a shoe is really, really important. But yeah, I would like set the camera right here and then send them wedge shots.
Jess is very extra, so she has to.
She's thorough. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, thorough.
That's
what I
different
meant
word.
to say. Sorry, thorough.
We're girls, Justin. We like detail.
You both wear FootJoy shoes, but very drastically different styles and exactly what you want out of your shoes. So explain why you are in these, Justin.
Well, I mean, one thing for me, especially when I was wearing the Icon, I like to customize them, go on my joys, and the FootJoy guys probably would get a little, a little anxiety when they would see an order come up for me at the beginning of the year, just because I enjoy, looking good, if you will. I don't want to self-proclaim myself with that, but just matching shoes with my outfits or different colors, different prints, whatever it might be. And I just feel like these shoes are obviously comfortable. That's the #1 priority. But if I'm able to get a little bit of creativity and fun with them as well, then why not?
Variety. And for you, Jessica, the athletic style is important to you. Why these shoes?
I love the FootJoy Fuels. I mean, they're just so comfortable. Like I said, very athletic, very light. And I like the way that the spikes are done. I mean, spikeless is such a touchy topic because it's like, oh, you're slip. But so far, these have been amazing. They've been holding me perfectly. And like I said, I really like the lightweight.
Clouds come and go, but the sun keeps shining. Rediscover the Costa del Golf. Our scenery is even more spectacular than before. Our lifestyle is even more relaxing. Our sporting events are even more thrilling. Feel the sun on your face and the warmth on your skin. Step into the light. Feel the Costa del Sol.
Señores pasajeros, embarquen por la puerta número D40.
Your dreams grow with you. They accompany you from the day you were born. They are a part of you. I remember every single time I was taking off from this airport to chase my dreams. The path was never easy. And it's difficult to know if you choose your dreams or they choose you. But one day you come back home and you realize that your dreams have landed with you. The countdown has already started. Let's live the dream.
So thank you everybody for joining us. Women's Golf Day Palooza, our round table, which is always fun and exciting. And we have some amazing women, just happen to be women. But the topic that we're talking about today is taking an ownership stake. And this falls under our, global unity and golf uniting the world, which is, what we see in a lot of different ways how that comes into play and how we can unite with one another through different initiatives and things that we're doing. But most importantly, we have some amazing women, so I'm going to introduce them. Fame Tate is from the UK, and she is an owner of a golf course. And she'll tell us more about herself. And Kathy Harbin, which is in the United States in Paris, Texas, and she is a veteran in the golf industry, very highly regarded. She also owns a golf course. And we have Lavinia, who will be joining us, Biagotti. I hope I didn't butcher that name, but she's also an Italian woman living in Italy that owns a golf course that will be hosting the Ryder Cup. So, Fame, let's start with you and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me on here. It's a pleasure to be part of it all. So yes, I own Stanage Golf Club. I'm sure many of you out there won't have even heard of it. Sorry. I'm based in Chesterfield in Derbyshire in the United Kingdom. I bought Stanage Golf Club 3 years ago. My background is PGA professional, and prior to that, I was a PGA professional on the Ladies European Tour and the Asian Tour. So that's my little story, really. That's kind of a bit about me.
And just tell us a little bit more. So your golf club, you purchased it 3 years ago, and you've done a lot of, there some things needed to be done with it. So you have worked, we've seen, you've had some wonderful, if people haven't watched it, I encourage them to watch this. Sargenta did a great job of doing some videos and things about your journey to this.
Yeah, so essentially the golf course had officially closed down in December 2018. And at the time, it was quite interesting, really. I was looking for kind of a new role within the PGA, but just due to family circumstances, really, I wasn't able to kind of pursue that. What I wanted to do was potentially go abroad and have a career coaching somewhere else, really. But the situation arose. I heard along the grapevine that obviously Stanage was coming up for sale, and obviously it had kind of gone belly up, really, pardon the phrase. And only living 5 minutes around the corner, I quickly kind of got on the case and, obviously pursued it even further. It wasn't really that straightforward at the time, I'm making it sound quite simplistic now, but it was quite an arduous process, really, for certainly 2 to 3 months in terms of obviously putting a model in place, obviously financial forecasting, going to the bank and obviously asking for a significant loan in order to purchase the business. But obviously that was approved and kind of the rest is history. So we've gone from starting with 0 members in 2019, and as I sit here right now, we've got 273 members. So we have transformed the golf club. We've found a niche in the market, and I think it was important for me at the time, and still really continues to be, not to be directly in competition with the local golf clubs. We offer a completely different service. And obviously we're only a 10-hole facility. So all the while, it's been really important for me to focus on our own USPs and promote really what we do well and what we do very different. I wanted it to be a golf club from the outset that was obviously, inclusive, very welcoming, a family-friendly environment. And we've ticked all the boxes, and we've proved that obviously there's a market for it out there.
Awesome. Thank you. Kathy Harbin, can you tell us about your golf course and your story?
Well, I have a golf course in Paris, Texas, and as you said, I've been in the golf business a long time. In fact, I decided a long time ago I wanted to buy a golf course. I took a seminar on how to buy a golf course in 1988. So you can do the math and see how long throughout my career I thought one of these days I'm going to buy a golf course, and then I finally did. And I've been really excited about it. And it even before we got started, what I was looking for something that had a big driving range, so I could run lots of programs and run lots of kids and families and women through there, and beginner golfers, and introduce new people to the game, and a player-friendly golf course for the same reasons, that people get out there and really enjoy it. It's a public golf course. That was the other thing I wanted. I wanted to be open to the public, and so, yeah, it's been 5 years in the making. I just celebrated in April my 5th year anniversary, and yeah, I've been very pleased with the progress and where we are right now.
And Kathy also mentioned some of the other things that you're involved in. You're a board member of the PGA, and I'll let you tell it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think one of the missions for me is to continue to be active in trying to help grow the game of golf and help introduce new people to the game. And sometimes I hear people say they're tired of grow the game phrase. So I say when we actually do that, I'll stop saying it. So until then, we're going to keep talking about growing the game and introducing new people to the game. And so I serve on the National PGA Board, PGA of America. I serve as Vice President of the National Golf Course Owners Association Board, and then just Women's Golf Day, of course, has my full support, and just a variety of other activities that I think hopefully I can contribute to as we continue to introduce diverse audience and more people to the game.
And I think I should know this. Are you a PGA teaching pro certified?
I'm a PGA Master Professional, yes, PGA Master Professional and a LPGA Professional.
Yeah, I think that's important for people to know. I mean, some of us that are in this are but I think it does lend itself when you're talking to how to, get people involved and understanding really what's involved when it comes to teaching. So for both of you guys that have professional experience, it's different. So I'm going to jump into some of our questions. I hear some feedback. Is that me? There's some scratchy feedback on. No? Okay.
Hear it as well. So.
Yeah. Somebody wiggling? No. Okay. All right. So we kind of talked about how you arrived at an ownership position, and this is what I think is interesting about this panel particularly, is that, and Kathy and I talked earlier, so this came directly from her, and I think it's a great one to discuss. It's the risk that's involved, and I think if we retitled this panel, it would have been Risk Takers. So I think let's talk just a little bit about, risk and risk reward. Kathy, you can start.
Yeah, I think someone said that to me when they were doing a little bit of an interview with me, and they walked through the process, and I left a job as Vice President of Golf for Club Corp to go buy my own golf course. And so the person said, "Oh, so you're a risk taker." And so I wouldn't necessarily have thought of myself as a risk taker, but it certainly is, and I'm sure Fame knows the same thing. It's there are so many moving parts to owning a golf course that what that means is there's so many things that could go wrong and go sideways. So every day is a little bit of a risk as to how it's going to turn out, and so yeah, you have to have some courage. You have to have some courage to step out there. You have to have a great deal of belief in your ability and your commitment to it. And I think, risk taking, courage, belief are keys to being able to get out there and own a golf course and buy a golf course.
Fame, what about your thoughts?
I mean, I completely agree with Kathy. I was asked kind of similar questions really when I took over Stanage, but at the time, a bit like yourself, Kathy, not naively, but I didn't actually sit down and think, well, actually, this is a risk. I mean, crikey, some of you may know or not know, my house is up for collateral against the business. But even at that point, with the correct kind of plan in place, and look, crikey, none of us could have even forecast or predicted what's happened certainly over the last 12 months with COVID. Financial forecasting has somewhat gone a little bit sideways. But at the time, I thought, with the correct kind of business model in place and actually what we wanted to achieve, that, like I said previously, there was that niche in the market. And actually, I had the belief that the product and everything that we were pushing forward was going to work. So I don't mean that in an overly confident way. Truly, I don't. Like Kathy said, there's an awful lot that can very quickly go wrong when running any business, not just a golf course. But there are so many kind of interchanging pieces that, one of those pieces can just slip, and then it becomes kind of like a game of prioritizing all the time. Certainly, yes, you do need courage, and every day we're all faced with very different challenges. But actually, that's certainly what makes me get out of bed every morning. I love it. I love the diversity. I love the challenge. And I love to see kind of where we are and actually where we're progressing and what we're providing for people. ultimately that is so satisfying to see.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a sense of that. And I always make this analogy. I feel like sometimes I wake up and I'm like a firefighter. Just like what fire are we putting out today? So there is some element of that, but there is gratification, and I think all of us that we are affecting change. And you just say how one person can affect change, and everybody's living proof. So if you how do you see things changing for women in leadership positions, and not just in the golf industry and other industries? I mean, do you see and feel that, and how? Give me some thoughts on that, Fame.
I mean, certainly, I think the industry is changing. I think all of the industries are changing, particularly as a whole. I think the biggest part really is that I think we need to involve men in some of the change. Particularly more in the golf industry, and I question really whether it's down to perception and stigma still. There's still an awful lot of that, particularly over in the UK. I'm not, I can't comment about what's obviously happening in the States, but there is still that kind of stigma that, it is predominantly a male dominated sport. But, you kind of look at the figures of what happened through COVID, and more women took to golf. So is that kind of perception, or, is that something in their own minds that maybe they think that, it is particularly male dominated? I think that it's important as leaders within the golf industry that we kind of recognize what both genders can bring to leadership and management roles. I don't think it should be kind of this disparity between, okay, male leadership and female leadership. I think certainly as female leaders, we do bring something very different to the table. And it's a different method of leadership. I can certainly comment on that at the golf club. I don't know how many golf courses in the UK are run like this, but myself and the general manager were both female. And I know certainly when I took over Stanage, I certainly had some challenges from some of the gentlemen, but that was an awful lot again to do with perception, and they didn't really know what I was about or my background. And you find yourself, I think, as a female in a leadership role, probably having to explain yourself a little bit more, and to almost get that kind of justification from the men. But I think certainly over the last 12 months, again, playing the COVID card, whether you're male or female within golf or non-golfing industries, we've all faced the same challenges. And I think that's almost brought us back to some sort of equality, which I think is positive moving forward. We've all had to kind of predominantly work from home. We've all had to kind of juggle the home life and the responsibilities, whether that's been parenting or what it is. So to some degree, that has brought us all back on an even keel. But I think the movement going forward has to be positive. I think everyone's really promoting the different roles in golf now, whether that's greenkeeping, whether that's management, whether it's, I don't know, kind of dealing with corporate hospitality. There is certainly a push on getting more females into leadership roles. Yeah, I would say it's all heading in the right direction. I think just to kind of finish on my points, I think when you're obviously trying to instigate any form of change, I think as long as you're reason for change and you're communicating the vision, which is a shared vision, I'm sure, amongst us all, then people are more likely to buy into it in the long run.
Absolutely. Kathy, what are your?
Well, I think it's well said. I think it's definitely in the realm of that you have to explain yourself, as Fame said. You have to kind of prove a little bit more in the beginning, but then once you do that, there's a lot of support out there. I think I'm on a board with, I'm the only female on the PGA board with 18 other men, and there was probably a little bit of that proving time where you had to prove your worth to be there. But then once you do that, you're completely in. It's not, they're supportive. There's no resistance to it. It's not like they're trying to keep you back. They don't know what they don't know is what I usually say. People who have lived in kind of a straight line without diversity in their life, they just don't know what they don't know. And so it's incumbent upon us to kind of enlighten them a little bit and show them a different way. But if you listen to the Faith talk, and she talks about the business model and the business plan she had to put together, the performance she had to put together, and how she's working off of it now, and maybe had to restructure it and reforecast a little bit. When you hear those kind of things, you realize that we're business owners. We're business women. We're golf professionals, but we're running big businesses. These businesses that employ a lot of people, and it's not just about us being out front shaking hands and saying hello to people and out teaching and running programs. We have to go then back into our office, and we have to manage our payroll. We have to manage our expenses. We have to figure out ways to drive revenue. We have to figure out how the most efficient way to buy new equipment, and all these things that are business owner decisions that people make all the time, and for whatever reason there is this stigma that maybe maybe women aren't quite as capable of that. So we just need to be in more positions where we can prove that that's not true, that we are competent and capable, and that we do have that experience, and that we can continue to thrive in any environment. And I really do believe that diverse thought in any kind of board meeting or any kind of place where there's decisions that need to be made, it's not something we can wait on anymore. It's something that we need to do. And Alyssa, you and I have talked about my little tagline that I use now. It's awkward insertion. And what I mean by that is that we need to start putting people, women and men and women of color and just diverse people into boardrooms and on committees, even if at first that person might have a learning curve. They might have a little bit they might need to get caught up to speed a little bit because they haven't had the same path as the other people that are in these board meetings. But this awkward insertion is this: let's put some diversity into these board meetings, into these boardrooms, and into these committees. We can wait for the next generation because we are doing a better job at the grassroots of getting diversity in. But those folks are going to be ready for leadership jobs in 10 years. And right now we had diverse leaders out there that if we inserted them into certain committees and boardrooms and gave them a seat at the table, they could contribute immediately.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, like, you both stated, also being an agent of change, and sometimes it isn't always comfortable, but, it's not comfortable. It's probably not comfortable for either parties, but usually it's not anything that is, ill or bad. It's all for the good. It's just having a little more of an open mind and understanding not everybody has come on the same path, but if we all share the same end vision, and I'm sure you'll agree, whether it's, getting a golf course to be in the best possible shape it can be, or getting more diversity into a club, or getting more diversity into a program or a country, or, we see it from every level because we're like kind of up there. And I'm like, when I think about it, it's like, more in Japan, more women in Japan, more in the Middle East, more in America, so, yeah, I think it's a little bit of the uncomfortableness needs to happen. So, we've been touching on this, so I just want to see, like, I would love to know, because, what's that old saying is, something like, for affecting change was like acting locally.
All politics are local. For one thing. Yeah.
And affecting globally. So, this, as not everybody knows, this started us Women's Golf Day in 2016 as a little side project born out of frustration of people saying, oh, we want to get more women into golf, but, it needed some actionable, tangible. I mean, I was still working in other, doing consulting and other work. And, this took the data, looked at it, said, hey, this is what women are saying. It's too long, it's intimidating, everything. We flipped it, created the turnkey event, and little did we know that it would end up being something that's globally. So where I'm going with this is, I would love to know how you've created. It all is about unity and communication, as we've been touching on. So have you noticed the difference, because you now have had these 3-6 years golf courses, how it has created community on a local, or created more unity in your local level, and then in any broader picture that you're seeing it, whether it's with your entity, with your golf course, or on a bigger stage. So yeah. Okay, that was like too long-winded question. The question is, do you see more unity, whether it's with your team on a local and with your with your members or consumers that are coming, and how do you see it in a broader picture?
I mean, certainly when I took over Stanage, my initial mission really was to change the perception of golf. And, in terms of gender, or what's the word really? I suppose we wanted to make the golf club as welcoming and friendly and inclusive as we possibly could, where it was open and accessible, a bit like Kathy, where anyone could come and basically spend their time with us and ultimately enjoy their time with us. That gender was never even raised. What we're wanting to do at the golf club is give everyone that walks through that door a sense of belonging, sense of community, and a sense of unity, essentially. And it's hard to really explain, particularly in a Zoom, how we've actually done that. But with everything that we've kind of put in place, from, there's no snobbery, there's no gender discussion at all. I didn't want to have a golf club where someone walks into the bar and people turn their heads and kind of go, "Oh, who are you?" or "Ladies aren't welcome on certain days." We offer a very gender neutral service, both inside and outside. If you could even describe that as a service in itself, it probably sounds a little bit silly. But even from competitions, there's no ladies medal, men's medal. Everyone's in together, and that's how I've gone from the outset. And actually, in terms of the golf clubs within our locality, it was a bit of a bold step to take, but it was certainly the right step to take. So we did kind of stick our head above the parapet a little bit, if you like, and kind of go out there. And what's happened is we've shaken the tree. We have. And lo and behold, you look at the other golf courses now within the locality, and certainly looking a little bit further afield in the UK, and everyone's starting to do the same. Because we provided a reason for our change. And again, going back to change, I think that's certainly, if you can give them a reason to why, people may still be reticent, they always are, of change. And you're always going to be faced with resistance. But if they see something and you give them the necessary tools and the explanation as to why, then they go away and can kind of think about it. Lo and behold, 95% of those people come back and embrace it. So yes, at Stanage we have created that unity and we have created that belonging. And I know you touched on it earlier, Alyssa, but yeah, Syngenta came and wanted to tell our story because we have kind of changed the perception of golf. And that for me was key from day one. I didn't want to kind of just go back to a traditional golf club model, because I think, rightly or wrongly, it's dying. And the industry has got to change. And it is changing, but it's obviously going to be a little bit slower. Kathy and I are in, if you want to call it a privileged position, often I don't know whether I do, but we're in a position where we can instigate change very quickly. If Kathy or I wake up tomorrow morning and say, okay, we're going to put this in place for the betterment of golf or for the betterment of our own golf club, we can. And I think that's really important.
Kathy, what about you with the unity? Because you're seeing it on a local level as well as being involved with organizations, larger governing body organizations.
Yeah, and I think the best thing we can do as minority golf course owners is to set a great example. I mean, when you see what Fame has done, and you get to watch it, and it's a great example for people to see that it can be done. There's people who think that trying to create programs to bring diversity to their club is risky. It's not. But if we can continue to prove that by our actions, then we're setting a great example. I mean, I tell a story that I spent my first 3 months at Pine Ridge, and I didn't see a female and I didn't see a junior golfer for 3 months in season. And they had just been, ran off, not welcome, whatever it is. And if you go out there and any given day now, 50% of our clients are minorities or females or junior golfers. And so it's just, it can be done, and you can change it. And it really is. It's just all these, in America, it's 15,000 golf courses where someone wakes up in the morning and is committed to change, committed to doing things differently. And And by the way, it's a great business model. You get all these new customers. You're helping yourself by opening the door and being more welcoming to beginners and more welcoming to diversity. That's actually could be a part of your business plan and continue to grow your business while you're growing golf.
I think that's important. Just to touch on that, Kathy, really. I mean, I don't see it, and I'm sure you feel the same. And I really don't mean this essentially how it sounds, but to me, it's not rocket science. If you've got a blank canvas and you're coming in to the golf industry and you've bought a golf club and you're wanting to develop it, and obviously, at the end of the day, like you've said, we are both running businesses where there is an awful lot of risk. But to kind of instigate all of those things by, almost making it an open policy and to get those people through the door, that to me is just the right thing to do. It was never even a question. I don't know whether you kind of felt like that, but it just had to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect sense.
So I think one of the last, we'll kind of wrap it up a little bit, but what would be one of your wishes or your dreams of what you would like to see next step? I mean, that's could be, we've all talked about more change and diversity, but just either on your club level would be great to know, and as well as, bigger picture, if there's something that you would love to on your dream wish list.
Well, I'll start here, Fame, and I think the future. Right now, we have to be very intentional about our efforts to bring new people to the game, introduce people to the game, and are diverse. We can't stumble into that. We can't hope it happens. We have to have intentional efforts toward it, and we have to have intentional efforts to bring diversity into leadership in golf. And my dream, my future picture would be where we wouldn't have to have special efforts to do that, but that would just be the norm. That the norm is that anyone who wants to play golf is welcome. That anyone that wants to follow a career in leadership in golf feels welcome. So that's kind of, my overall dream is that, one day we truly are judged immediately by the merit of our performance, and Martin Luther King's the content of our character. We're judged on that first and foremost, and that we don't have to create special programs or have to have awkward insertion or any of those other things in order to get diversity at the leadership table, or in order for people to feel, of any background, to feel comfortable in golf.
Yeah, I can't really say any more, Kathy, to that, because I completely agree with every word there that you've just said. I think the more of us, like ourselves, that are involved in things like this, and act as, pardon the phrase, but trailblazers or role models to other females out there in the industry or even the non-golfing industry, just to kind of give those ladies a sense of empowerment and show them that actually you can go out there and do it, and it shouldn't be about competition or gender competition specifically. You're right, Kathy, it should just be happening. A bit like yourself, I sit on the UK Golf Federation, I'm on the board there with 12 other gentlemen. I'm the only one there, and it's really quite interesting. But, again, they've fully embraced me. There's no reason why they shouldn't. We're all sit there as business owners and all obviously have an opinion, and we're talking essentially about best practice and about the betterment for the game. But yes, it should just happen. But unfortunately, we're still in a position where it takes people like ourselves and other, professionals or other managers that are in the industry to go out there and do some great work and actually say, ultimately, this can be done. And I think the more of that that's happening, and the more positive message that's kind of given back, then it will happen. And people see, a bit like I said earlier about myself, you feel like you're kind of sticking your head above the parapet, but actually, you're not. It should just be how it should be.
Yes, we specifically on this, the title of this, called it Taking an Ownership Stake. So we didn't feel that we had to put women in there. They'd figure it out when the screen popped up. But I didn't want to put specifically that word, because that is my wish, that, there wouldn't even be a necessity for like a women's golf day. That's just golf day, right? For everybody, everywhere. But I think sometimes we're swimming upstream, but I think you realize that there's also sometimes tides that come along and people and organizations that will get behind you. And sometimes you just got to cast the net. We're going on 7 years this year. And I am very proud to say we have an incredible team, but, look at where we've come from an idea and 68 countries, 880 locations. And now we do have, all the governing bodies. So I do applaud RNA who were the first to come on board. And now we do have the USGA and the PGA of America. And I think because we have so many different around the world, it's not just in America, everywhere, there's different governing bodies, and PGA is a very interesting sport, unlike some of the others that have one governing body, that this unity becomes even more important, for us to unite. And whether it's, and we can have little subsets, we're going to still keep having women helping women, but there's a lot of men, because I always say, peel the onion back one layer. And first of all, everybody's got a mom. So you came from a mom, so you have some attachment to a woman, whether you like it or not. So you all came from a mom, and then after that, we'll see a lot of the men that have been super champions from day one of us, and I'm sure of you. They have wives and daughters and sisters and colleagues and mothers that they saw were not treated the way they were, or they'd like to see things done differently. And, I applaud everyone. So this is for everyone, especially Palooza, this digital day that we do, is really to bring everybody in and let everybody, and hopefully if some people understand a little better about diversity and inclusion, or hopefully as you women have both very valiantly shown, no matter what industry you're in, you can go for it and do it and do some due diligence, and it is within your reach. Absolutely. And I hope that's always our goal is, I always say golf is a vehicle, but we really want to bring women to the forefront of the conversation, and show that they are economic influencers. And that's just the business side of it, that's just like we're all just talking about. This is just good business sense. Apple doesn't sell cell phones to only 50% of the population. FootJoy sells golf shoes to everybody. None of these other industries, neither Ford nor Toyota, they're not just selling cars to men. So I think we should, like all industries, especially those that thrive on change. It's interesting because most other industries thrive. They have to have a new product or new innovation, or, to stay alive, technology, anything like that. And unfortunately, it's interesting when I always look, because I've always been on the business side of golf now, 22 years, and I'm always seeing that in comparison. And I think this is the brilliant thing of all of us getting together. My perception of what I see is so different, and I obviously banging my head against the wall, because I look at every other industry and I'm like, why? They're all selling and doing, and they just want the customers. So as we highlight more of that, and you guys have both done a great job of doing that, I think it becomes more apparent that we are just opportunity and business and equality is part of that quotient. Yay. Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you want to add anything else, but today is, Women's Golf Day Palooza, our digital fun rah-rah event online that we invite everybody to join us on. And always 7 days later, we have the live events around the world. So we look forward to seeing where you guys will be. Fame and Kathy, everybody engage on social media, and let's just keep being agents for change and growing the game and doing what we can. And I thank you so much for your time, and most importantly, for everything that you're doing for the game, for women, for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. want to introduce a very special person as well, Lavinia Biagiotti, who is the owner of Marco Simone, amongst many other things. And as we've talked about women taking an ownership stake, this is a woman that has definitely done that. So thank you so much, Lavinia. Can you tell us, first of all, like how we talked with Kathy and also with Tame, is how you got involved with, tell everybody what course you own and how you came about owning a golf course.
Thank you so much, first of all, Elisa, for having me with you and with these amazing women. It's a great opportunity for me. So thank you so much for having me. Well, Marco Simone is literally my green dream. It's a beautiful venue. It's a golf course built by my family at the end of the 80s. And I literally grew up in it because I live in it in an ancient castle where even Galileo Galilei lived. So my mother, Laura, who unfortunately passed away 5 years ago, used to call it, she was a designer, the biggest green skirt I ever designed, because it literally sits around the castle like a green skirt, and the landscape is gorgeous. You can see from several holes, St. Peter's Dome. So I really should say I'm blessed to own and to manage this wonderful venue. Then when my parents passed away, I was only 17 when my dad died, and I followed my mother in the fashion business, but I always kept a big love for golf and sports in general in my heart. And I thought I wanted to embrace a new way of managing sports, of managing golf. And when I had the chance to do it about 10 years ago, it was a huge challenge in my life. And it brought me to host the Ryder Cup in Marco Simone in 2023.
Exactly. So that is a big undertaking. So just tell us a little bit about what was your decision in doing that? Because as we were talking about, one of the things that everyone seemed to have in common is whether it's owning a golf course or making these type of decisions, is the risk that's involved. Because these aren't easy paths. This isn't just the same way that everybody else goes. These are all decisions that involve risk. So tell us a little bit about the risk and about what made you choose to host Ryder Cup.
I so much agree with what you said, because, golf is not so big in my country, in Italy, unfortunately. So I remember sitting with my mother for dinner about 10 years ago, looking at her straight in her eyes and saying, you know what, I want to relaunch the golf course. And she said, like, are you crazy? First of all, it's not a female job, even though she was such a successful woman. And then, Italy is not a big country for golf. And I told her, listen to me, I believe that the world is changing and we need to embrace new opportunities. So I want to take the risk. And I convinced her. So she said, go, it's your chance, do it, try to do it. So I started from women. I started from families, involving women. They used to call the wives the green widows. I don't know if you say that in the US, but I really did not like that sentence. I figured out women should come and have a wonderful experience in nature, whether they would play golf or just, have a walk or, learn yoga or whatever. So I really started from families. I started to have kids playing, and we have a big, strong team of young players at Marco Simone. And then at the same time, Italy was bidding to host the Ryder Cup, and they were looking at 100 golf courses. So I was in that big list. Then they shrink it down to a short list of 3 golf courses. And that all of a sudden became my unique thought. I was thinking of that 24/7, and I really wanted to have the Ryder Cup at Marco Simone. So what did I do? I planned it to the smallest detail. I worked so hard to show how Marco Simone in Italy could have, offered the best Ryder Cup ever. And this is how we got it.
That's amazing. And I'm so happy for you because I'm lucky enough that I was there last summer, and I'll see you again this summer. But it's an incredible venue. And I think, like, as you have just said, it's just so full of potential. I think you're only touching the beginning there of, I know it's a lot of work of what you and your team has put into it, but I do think it's there's still so much potential. And as it does grow, we are seeing it growing in Italy. I think we'll see more and more people golfing, and hopefully, obviously, women as well. One of the other things I wanted to ask you too, and you just touched on it again, was that, there's this phrase, think global, act local. So we're all part of a global network, but there has to be some type of initiative and grassroots. And I think you just touched on that. If you can tell us a little bit more, whether it's at your golf course or, I'm beyond, we didn't even know back in 2016, but Marco Simone has been hosting Women's Golf Day since 2016. So you've seen that evolved. And that's an example of, it was a global, none of us ever thought it would be as big as it is now. But what made you want to do something, act locally, but that was on a global scale?
Well, first of all, let me say
Ryder Cup, which is like Ryder Cup is the same. These are all things that you have to take action locally.
You are so right. Well, first of all, I want to say how inspiring Women Golf Days for me and for all my people. And the first time I was offered to be part of it with Marco Simone, I thought, well, yes, we have to do it. And I invited so many women golfers and non-golfers, and we spent a wonderful day all together. And now it became a very special day in our calendar, and people are looking to it and they want to be part of it. So it was very interesting for me because I had never been part of something that was so global, and I had the feeling we were like a huge team, and every other hour, because of jet lags, people were involved in it, and we were adding energies. So that was amazing. That is amazing about Women Golf Day. I feel they start in Australia and they end in California. And we're all together in this, and I can feel the energy of other women who want to, let's say, live a legacy. I think this is what we're here for, isn't it? To live a legacy, to let other women shine, to let other people shine somehow, whether it's in golf or in other fields. And golf can be a very good mindset to change the rules, to change the box. We cannot fit a new world into an old box. We indeed have to change the box. And I figured that your box was my box. And it was an interesting, opportunity to exploit new ways. Like you said, Marco Simone has a great potential to work on. And to get to your question, how did we embrace the first Women Golf Day? I thought we should have a competition on the course, but we should have people understanding how good golf can be. So we had some beauty sessions, we had some health sessions, we had some fashion sessions, we had food, we had yoga, we had so many different activities, and everybody brought home a good feeling about Women Golf Day.
Yes, and I'm sure they're going to have that same feeling this year, but even more so in Ryder Cup, because that's going to be an incredible experience. And similarly as well with that, you're going to see, through the beauty of social media, that you're going to see different people from all over the world engaging and seeing that and learning, not about Marco Simone, about Italy. And I think that is also what this, acting locally, but having a global impact is, what you're doing for tourism for Italy. And not that Italy isn't already on the map. A lot of people know, but do they know that it has these great golf courses and other things, or, remind them of how beautiful the country is. I also, we should have said this from the beginning. Could you tell everyone a little bit too? Like this is like your side job, which I cannot believe, because I know you think I do a lot, but I am always beyond amazed. Please tell people what a majority of your time, I believe, is spent on.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, I'm the third generation of a fashion company founded by my grandmother in Rome in the 60s. Then my mother, Laura, brought it to success, and she was named by the New York Times the Queen of Kashmir. She was actually the first Italian designer ever to do a fashion show in China in 1988. And at the time, people would call her Mr. Biagiotti, because they couldn't imagine that a woman was doing what she was doing, bringing Italian fashion so far. So I learned so much from these two amazing women. And as I said before, when my father passed away, he was her business partner, not only the love of her life. And I figured out I had to help her. So I started working in the company, and it was amazing to learn from her. And she taught me how to take my own risks, which I think is always very important for men, women, whatever. And then, fashion is really my life. It's my family. It's my commitment. But golf has taken a huge part of my ideas, of my creativity, of my curiosity as well. I am a very curious person. So I should say now, 90% is golf and 10% is fashion, because I've got great teams I work with in both companies. So they make it easy for me to take care of so many things at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Without teams, it's very difficult. But I think what I found from, knowing you, the time we have, and understanding more about what it is that you do, I have always said this. The golf industry is not founded on change. Every other industry, whether it's fashion or technology, because I come from, my first career was fashion, but you look at it, it has to change. It has to change. But golf, we're not saying that, we wake up and one day we only play 4 holes. I don't think that part needs to change. I think, and being third generation, for a moment, think about that, of a fashion house. So there's some things that are traditional, that are stayed, but yet you have to evolve and change. So 2 things are, like, we have to change, we have to evolve. I think the industry can learn a lot from people like yourself, who that's a huge part of a massive business that you run, and you understand that change and certain things can be extremely helpful. We have to innovate and go with the times with some things. And apart from that, I mean, on the women's part, which I said already, when we talked with Kathy and Fame, is that, Apple doesn't just sell cell phones to men. So 50% of the population doesn't just buy a cell phone, and sneakers, Nike doesn't just sell to, or any of the other companies. And similarly with our golf partners like Callaway or Titleist, they sell to everybody. So the golf industry should cater to everybody, and I think more and more the courses are coming around. But I think like myself, yourself, and a lot of others, and definitely I can speak for Kathy and for Fame, is that we see it as a business. And what is the business opportunity? And the growth in the business opportunity is women and children.
You're so right. My motto at Marco Simone is playing the future. So this means you're never done. When you want to play the future, not playing the game, not playing a match, it's playing the future. So you're never done with it. You're always open to new ideas, to new contaminations, to new inspirations. And this is something I learned from fashion. Like you said, having a 3-generation company doesn't mean you have to be traditional, because we actually change skin every 6 months. It's a big, big challenge working in fashion, because every 6 months I have to present 30 new collections. So this means I'm like throwing behind my shoulders all that I did, and I have to face a white, let's say, piece of paper and write on it something sustainable, something new, something attractive, something that can be a dream for the others. We're not selling, like you said, a product. We're really selling an experience. We're selling time with golf. So your time is valuable to me, and I want your time at Marco Simone to be the best time ever.
Agree. That's a wonderful, definitely a very good way to look at it. And I don't think sometimes that we do, or even on the business side, sometimes we lose sight that we are in the service industry. That it's we're providing a service and an experience. And I think one of the reasons why golf has grown so much during COVID is because the tangible things didn't mean so much. When you can't go anywhere and you can't do anything, experiences was all of a sudden like, oh, I miss this, things I took for granted. So I think it's phenomenal. So another question, and I think, is that, what future change would you like to see or predict, whether that's in the golf industry or anywhere, for women or just in general?
Well, this is a big, big question. First of all, I should say health for everybody, because like you mentioned, the pandemic has been very, very tough, physically, mentally, emotionally wise. So I wish for health. I wish all the population can get back to being good and feeling good. And then I wish people to work together. I think this is a new challenge. It's men and women, young and old people, and embracing a new sustainable way of living, which is definitely a greener way, so golf, but also sustainable in feelings, in using your time better, enjoying your time. What we learned is that time is limited, not only health is limited. So let's love the time that we got. Let's enjoy it. Let's smile. Let's connect the more that we can, again, to play the future together.
Yeah, I love that. I think I'm going to keep using that. Play the future, play the future together. I'm sure a lot of people watching this will be able to relate to that. And we don't have, the time is limited. So, and like you said, what are we doing with it? And let's use it to the best we can. Yeah. So if you had one wish or dream, what would it be? We'll end on that. Like a wish or dream for Marco Simone, yourself, for golf, for women.
My mother, Laura, brought fashion and beauty to the world. She was the first designer in China, the first designer in Russia. My dream since I was a child was to bring the world to my place, because I was blessed to live and grow up in a wonderful spot of the world with a lot of beauty, with a lot of features. So my dream is actually coming true, because the world is coming to Marco Simone, not only for the Ryder Cup, but to experience a new way of living golf, sports, and nature. So that was a big dream I had, and I'm getting there.
Yeah, you definitely are. So I think the world will be watching for sure. I know that's one of the Ryder Cup logos or taglines and what have you. And I know everybody will be, and I'll be excited to be there. And thank you so much for this. This has been such a pleasure. I mean, to have 3 powerhouse women that each own their own golf course outright, I think is incredible. And, as we said, it is just taking ownership stake and global unity. And however that is, through whatever form, I think we definitely can get more accomplished together than we do alone. So I thank you so much for your time and for this. And it's been incredible to learn more about Marco Simone and everything you're doing. And we wish you tremendous continued success. And we'll help you however we can.
Thank you so much,
The Women's Golf Day community is behind you.
It was my pleasure to be with you. I admire so much and respect what you do. I'm your fan, and I will keep on supporting you with all my efforts and all my passion. Grazie.
Grazie.
I'm Kathy Kim, and I turned my passion into a profession. Being a PGA coach allows me to make a career out of what I love the most.
I love the game of golf. Growing up, everyone always says, do what you love, and I chose a career in golf because of my passion for it. I'm excited to go to work every day.
Whether I'm in my office or whether I'm on the golf course, I'm getting paid to bring people into the game of golf. How can you not love that? That's what it's all about.
Join the nearly 28,000 PGA professionals who love and lead the game of golf.
Aloha from the Ocean Course at Hokuala. I'm Kelly Akana, Director of Instruction and Community Relations here at the Troon Managed Facility located on the beautiful island of Kauai. On behalf of Troon, our family of brands, associates, and clients worldwide, we are pleased to support Women's Golf Day for our 7th year in a row. We are committed to growing the game and providing opportunities for golfers not only today, but every day of the year. Please enjoy this short video to learn more about the world of Troon.
Golf only exists because it's fun.
What is special about golf is the relationships.
Being out there with your family, your friends, so many different chances and opportunities are presented from the game of golf.
Troon is brilliant. It's always first-class experiences. Courses that they run, they want it to be as good as possible, and it makes a big difference for the experience.
Why wouldn't you select Troon? You're selecting the best of the best. You know the quality you're getting, you know the experience you're getting. There's nobody better.
is Titleist Ball Plant 3, the global centre of Titleist golf ball technology and manufacturing. Located in New Bedford, Massachusetts, it's home to 450 dedicated associates who share an unwavering commitment to precision at every touch point. The Pro V1, Pro V1X and AVX golf balls shipped from this plant have met the absolute highest standard of quality, so you can trust your golf ball and always bring your best. This place, this process, these people are what make a golf ball the #1 ball in golf.
Good day, everyone. My name is Alicia Madden, and I'm the Director of Media at Titleist. Titleist and FootJoy are proud sponsors of Women's Golf Day and are excited to be part of this important movement. Today, I'm joined by Taylor Woods, Senior Golf Ball Fitting and Education Specialist for Titleist, and Allison McManaman, an amateur golfer who's looking to up her game this year. One important element to playing better and more consistent golf is to ensure you're playing the best golf ball for your game. So Taylor will be conducting a golf ball fitting with Allison to help her determine which golf ball will help her shoot lower scores. And with that, I'll turn it over to Taylor.
Hi, Allison. Like Alicia said, my name's Taylor Woods. I'm happy to be talking to you today. I'm looking to help you find the right golf ball for your game so you can play better golf and shoot lower scores. So just to start off with, what golf ball are you currently playing right now?
So to be honest, I don't have one that I use in particular day to day. And even when I go to a local shop or sporting goods store, I feel a little overwhelmed and not even really sure where to begin on, what ball is right for me. There's so many to choose from, and I know that I definitely need to narrow it down and focus on one ball that fits my game.
Perfect. And I think that's a great place to start. And my question to you would be, what do you think is the most important piece of equipment in your bag?
So I have a lot of equipment in my bag. Some I should use maybe more than others, but I'm aiming towards the ball at this point, hoping that it really improves my game.
Yes, and our answer would be the golf ball, right? It's the only piece of equipment that you use on every shot when you're out on the golf course. And the biggest thing that we want to talk about today, no matter what golf ball we say is going to be the best for your game, is to find that right golf ball to play consistently, right? If you're playing a golf ball one day that has a high flight aspect and characteristic to it, and you have a great day, and the next day you play a golf ball that's low flight, high spin, you can't expect the same thing out of very similarly struck shots, right? I want you to hit the golf ball, look up, and know where to see where that golf ball's flying up in the air. We want to make sure it's consistent and we're taking out any variables within your golf game so you can play your best game and have fun while you're out there doing it. So
fantastic.
Perfect. So our biggest focus on now is going to be, what is the right golf ball for your game? So we're playing a bunch of different golf balls. My next question for you would be, what are you looking for in your game? Are you looking to improve greenside control? Are you looking to improve height? What's not going so well for you when you're out there playing right now?
There are a few of those areas I could focus on. But I think the number one certainly would be when I use my irons and get on the green. It just I hit and it just goes. And I would love to keep it closer to where it lands onto the green versus always like I'm excited it's on the green and then boom, it's 20 yards off the green because it just kept rolling.
Perfect. And there's two ways for us to help you improve that, right? There's two ways to get the golf ball to stop faster on the green. First is height. The higher the golf ball flies, the steeper it's going to come into the green, which we call landing angle, the softer it lands and the faster it's going to stop. With our irons, the height is going to be about 75% of that stopping power, so something we really want to focus on there. The other 25% of stopping power once you hit the green is going to be spin that you generate on the golf ball as well. So the more spin you put on the golf ball, once it makes that first hop on the green, it's going to check up a little bit quicker for you as well. So we want to get you in a golf ball that flies higher and it spins more. Okay. And moving into that, what I want to talk about is our product line. So the golf balls to get you playing your best golf is going to be in our premium performance line, which is Pro V1, Pro V1X, and AVX. To talk about the differences in characteristics there, I'll start with Pro V1X. It's the highest flight option, also the highest spinning into and around the greens. Pro V1, optimal flight for most golfers, more of a mid-trajectory ball flight, so a little bit lower of a flight and a little less iron spin. AVX, more of a penetrating ball flight. So the lowest flying option and the least amount of spin within your irons. As you go from Pro V1X to Pro V1, the golf ball feels a little bit softer. As you go from Pro V1 to AVX, a little bit softer as well. So with saying, hey, I want to get the golf ball to check up a little bit faster when I hit the greens, it moves me towards saying Pro V1X is probably going to be the right golf ball for you, right? It's going to fly higher. And just because it's flying higher, it's not only going to give you better stopping power, it's probably going to get you some more distance as well. So if you think about the first time you used a water hose as a kid, right? You pointed at the bush, it didn't quite get there, right? You lifted it up a little bit higher, it carried all the way to the bush and you were able to water it. Same thing with ball flight. You lifted it up too high, came right back down on your feet. Once we get the right height in your golf game, we're going to get the right distance, but also the best stopping power into the green. So just getting you a higher ball flight, you're going to gain some distance, but you're also going to get better stopping power because like you said, when you hit the green and it rolls off onto the back, now I have to think, okay, I need to hit the front of the green to hit a back pin. And that's not as fun, right? We want to play target golf. But even if you had the opposite issue, you hit the green and it's pulling back, right? You're moving it away from the flagstick either way. We want you to be aggressive with the flagstick. Know that the golf ball is going to check up for you and get you into the right golf ball to do that. And I truly believe Pro V1X is going to be the best golf ball for you to do that for distance and stopping power. With Pro V1X also being the highest spinning into and around the greens, it's going to give you a little bit better of an effort to get that golf ball to check up as well. Now, have you played any of the golf balls in our premium performance line, Pro V1, Pro V1X, or AVX?
I have not. So these characteristics you're talking about are exactly, something I think that could help me. And I thought the analogy with the hose was perfect, and it makes it very clear to understand that just that little bit of extra height could make such a big difference.
Perfect. And as we move to the tee, when you heard me talk about the spin characteristics between Pro V1, Pro V1X, and AVX, I talked about spin into and around the greens. And that's because once we get to the tee, and I hear you're a long hitter off the tee, is that the spin characteristics become very similar, right? We're still going to see the height difference, but these golf balls are more similar than they are different off the tee. So you're still going to get low spin off the tee, so spin when and where you need it, and high spin into and around the greens so you can have the control that you need around the greens. Now, a big question that we typically get as well is, if Pro V1, Pro V1X, and AVX is the best golf ball for all golfers, why do we have Tour Speed, Tour Soft, Velocity, and True Feel in our line? And that's what we call our performance line products. And the reason why we have those products in our line is because certain golfers have preferences within their golf game. Maybe they want a bright pink golf ball or a neon green golf ball or orange or a matte red finish. And we're able to provide that through Velocity and True Feel. Or maybe there's a price point difference where we can still get the golfer the best performing product in the price point that they're willing to go out and pay for golf balls. So the biggest difference also that you'll see in our product line, starting at True Feel, going to Velocity, Tour Soft, Tour Speed, and then Pro V1, Pro V1X, and AVX, is the reason you're seeing a price point difference as you move through that line is that you're going to continue to get more control and stopping power as you get through the product line. So when you hit the golf ball, it doesn't come straight off the club face. It rubs up against the grooves, which creates your spin and control within your game. Well, the softer the cover material is on the outside of the golf ball, the more it allows it to grip onto those grooves and create more spin coming into the green. So as you move through our product line, you'll see the cover material get softer and softer, which is giving you more control and stopping power into and around the greens. So you're really paying for that control, which you're looking for, right? You want to see the golf ball stop on the greens a little bit better as well.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Perfect. So the next step that you would want to take after today is to take these golf balls out on the golf course, right? To be properly fit into a Titleist golf ball, every golfer should go through our green to tee fitting process, evaluating all shots out on the golf course with the greatest emphasis placed on shots around the green, right? A lot of people like to focus on their tee shot when they're figuring out what golf ball to play. But if you think about it, you're only going to hit your driver 14 times around maximum, right?
Yeah.
There's threes in there. And where you're going to score is where you can aim at the pin and get the golf ball to check up quicker. And shorter putts, better scores.
Much better. Yes, I agree. And I do think that's a fault of mine. I need to get out there and practice more of those short distances because I am one of those as well. I'm like, well, I'll just go to the driving range when I need to get, the right ball and bring it to the right distance and work on it at the same time.
Of course. And do you have any questions about the golf ball for me?
So you recommend once you get into this one, really stay with it for a certain amount of time and work with it and learn how to play with it. And that should be like your ball going forward. That's the best path to take?
Yes, it is. So I'd recommend playing Pro V1X. Take it out on the golf course. Use it side by side with the golf balls that you're playing now. Focus on chips and pitch shots and 7-irons and all the way through the bag, all the way to your driver, and see if you can see the performance difference between them in all shots. So if you have an extra few minutes on certain holes the next time you go play, say you have a 7-iron into the green, hit a couple of the balls that you're playing now, hit a couple of Pro V1X, and see if you can see the performance difference. And how you should be able to see it when you walk up onto the green is you'll make a ball mark when you hit the green, right? Your paces to your golf ball should be closer with Pro V1X because it should have more stopping power. And that's what you should look for when you're testing it out on the golf course. But I would say continue to play Pro V1X until maybe your swing changes or a new product comes out, and come back and let's have a conversation about your game at that point as well.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. Other than that, best golf ball for you is definitely Pro V1X. And what we want to work on is consistently playing it.
Sounds great to me. Can't wait to get out there.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and we enjoyed it very much.
Yes, thank you for all your tips. That was great.
Yes, that was great information for all the women planning to head out on Women's Golf Day. On behalf of Titleist and FootJoy, I want to extend a special thank you to Allison and Taylor for joining us today. As you all prepare for the golf season and Women's Golf Day, I encourage you to visit Titleist.com, where you can go through our online golf ball selector tool or schedule a virtual golf ball fitting with one of Titleist golf ball experts like Taylor. We hope to see many of you out on the course on June 1st.
Hello, my name is Lisa Blueswick, nicknamed Lisa Longball. I'm an 8-time Canadian long drive champion for women, and I'm so proud to be the Canadian ambassador for Women's Golf Day. Canadians love golf. Even though our golf season only seems to be about 6 months a year, depending where you live in Canada due to all the snow, we sure love it. And that's what's wonderful about Women's Golf Day. It brings so many new women into this game and introduces them to a lifelong passion and love of golf.
Hi, Sean Crew, Golf Radio host out of Seattle, Washington. You know, I am always so happy to see more women involved in golf, and I'm thrilled about the events and everything Women's Golf Day is doing to help make that happen.
Hello everyone, my name is Leslie and I'm the proud UK ambassador for Women's Golf Day. It's a day where we come together with friendship, learning a little bit about the game, and just taking the pressure off. What is golf all about? I'm always here to help, so please direct message me. If I can help in any way, I'll do what I can. Enjoy the day. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Rita Appel. I'm the
Women's Golf Day ambassador here in Uganda. We've had Women's Golf Day for the past 4 years now, and it keeps growing, and it's a great way to increase the number of lady golfers here in Entebbe Club. Thank you so much, Women's Golf Day, and wishing everyone a successful event.
Hi, ik ben Renate uit Nederland. Hi, I'm Renate from the Netherlands. We're excited to see more Dutch women playing golf and of course joining Women's Golf Day events.
こんにちは。日高充と申します。Hi, I'm Mitsuru Hidaka from Japan. We are excited to see more Japanese women playing golf and joining Women's Golf Day event. See you.
Cześć, tu Anna z Polski. Hi, I am Anna from Poland. We are excited to see more Polish women playing golf and joining Women's Golf Day events.
Hi, I'm Danielle Tucker, the Women's Golf Day Hawaii Ambassador. I love being the ambassador at Women's Golf Day because what do women enjoy doing? Laughing and coming together, the camaraderie of being on the golf course, enjoying a libation, as well as playing a great game, golf.
أنا دكتورة أسماء بن صالح من المغرب. الهواية ديالي هو الجولف كنمارسها في الغوية الجولف دار السلام. وهاد الومن جولف داي جاب لينا بزاف ديال المزايا. كنلعبوا اللاعبات اللي موالفين كيلعبوا واللي عمرهم ما شافوا الجولف وكنتعرفوا بيناتنا. So I love Women Golf Day. It's very good to encourage women to play golf, especially in my country, Morocco. So welcome to Women Golf Day, everybody.
Hey everyone, Christina Ritchie. I live in New England and I'm excited to kick off the season with a celebration of Women's Golf Day. It's great to see more women playing the game of golf.
Örülök, hogy személyemmel támogathatom a Women's Golf Day kezdeményezés, amit évről évre egyre nagyobb külföldön is remélhetőleg hazánkban is, és remélem, hogy ettől minél több. I'm very excited to support the international initiative, the Women's Golf Day, to support women's participation in golf, and I hope with my little support I can help distribute and promote the game of golf in Hungary.
Hello everyone, welcome to Glasson Lake House, right here in the centre of Ireland. Now we're looking forward to June 7th. Why? Because Women's Golf Day is going to be celebrated right here at our golf club. And we're inviting experienced golfers to come in. We've got competitions running, and we also want newcomers to come on board as well, because we're going to be giving free golf clinics throughout the day. This is a great initiative. This is growing the game of golf, getting ladies to participate. And it's happening in 80 countries around the world, and we're going to be doing it here in Ireland. I'm an Irish ambassador for Women's Golf Day, and I want to encourage every golf club in Ireland to take up this initiative on June 7th, invite people to your golf club, and let's grow the game.
Bonjour, je suis Sonia de France. Hi, I'm Sonia from France, from Paris. And we are very excited to see more French women playing golf and join Women's Golf Day event.
Hola, soy Lisette desde la República Dominicana. Hi, I'm Lisette from Dominican Republic. Since we have been celebrating the Women's Golf Day here, many women have begun playing golf. Now, for this year we have many women expecting the Women's Golf Day celebration, because here in Dominican Republic, the Women's Golf Day is a party. Happy Women's Golf Day!
Dal 2016 Women's Golf Day è il più importante evento al mondo per promuovere il golf per le donne. Registra il tuo golf club e organizzati per il primo weekend, il primo martedì di giugno di ogni anno.
Women's Golf Day es un evento único a nivel mundial en el que mujeres aficionadas o quienes estáis iniciando en el mundo del golf podéis disfrutar durante 4 horas de una jornada especial. Se celebra el primer martes de junio de cada año en más de 880 campos de 68 países.
Los campos interesados en el evento pueden registrarse en nuestra página Women's Golf Day. Si estás interesada, ¡apúntate!
Привіт, мене звати Анна і я з України.
Hi, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine. I'm working for Ukrainian Golf Federation and for Women's Golf Day. In this hard time for our nation, I would like to thank you for your support. And please continue to do it. If you can donate, check auction from Women's Golf Day and support Ukrainians more. Also, I would like to congratulate all the participants of today's event and wish the Women's Golf Day community become stronger and bigger with the time. I hope that peace will come back to the world very soon. And one more time, thank you so much for all your actions and support. Glory to Ukraine! Slava Ukraini!